Yo, what's up, guys? I had a stream up not that long ago, but it crashed. So I'm trying to get it going again. Not sure what happened. I don't know if maybe it's because I'm streaming through the PS4 and Call of Duty's still in beta, and it might not be an ideal game to stream. I doubt that's it, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that was the first time I've ever had a stream crash when just doing it right through the PS4. I don't know if it's maybe has to do with the game. I don't know if it's because this game's still in beta and I'm playing, I don't know, 64 player mode. Who knows? I will say this, if it does crash again though, I will be playing something else. But it could have been because I was trying to stream at 60 FPS as well. Maybe pushing the PS4 too hard, I don't know. I don't really know if that has anything to do with the PlayStation 4 itself. My thoughts on the beta? It's... oh wow, look at that. It's pretty good, but I still don't know if I'm sold on it yet.
Capture objectives and kill your enemies.
I mean, it does feel like different than any past Call of Duty, but I think I just might be done with the whole formula of this, you know what I mean? I'm still undecided. I do like Ground War though. Certainly better than the other game modes, for sure. It's a lot more chaotic, but that can work both ways, good and bad. But I'm still unsure if I'm gonna be buying it, only because there's so many other games that I want to play as well. What game am I going to play next Sunday? I'm not sure, honestly. There's a good chance. There's a very good chance the next game I'm going to stream is The Last of Us. Because I wanted to wait to stream The Last of Us until we got an official release date as a way to kind of celebrate it. And so, if we do end up getting a release date on Tuesday, then maybe next Sunday that's what we'll do. I think it would be appropriate. We'll see how things go. How is he not dead? You gotta be kidding me. And watch, he's gonna kill me. Yeah, okay. Hello to everybody just joining the stream. No, I'm not gonna live stream the State of Play, but I will do my best to get a video up afterwards. Hello, I love your channel. Keep doing this. From Spain. Thanks. Hope I have a big national studio one day. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate the content. What time is the State of Play for Tuesday? I think it's 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. As for other times, you're gonna have to look that up. PS5 Pro day one. Yep. You know it. Alright, let's see if I can actually do something here. See, that's the thing about this game mode. It's an absolute cluster, man. Like, look at this. I don't even know what's happening. I got somebody with my grenade. Everybody keeps asking me about a face reveal. Why do you guys want to see my face so badly? It's always interesting to it's always interesting, I guess, when you haven't seen somebody and you've only heard their voice, and you kind of create this image of them in your head, and then sometimes you see their face and you're like, oh wow, they look nothing like I imagined. People have told me many times that for those who've seen me on camera, which I think is only a few people, a handful, not a handful, but like there's definitely a certain group of people who have seen me on camera. They said that I look like Deacon St. John from Days Gone, similar to him. They want to see if I'm really muscle bound? Okay. Meetul Patel, you'll donate $100 if I stream and finish The Last of Us Live. Are you saying $100 if I finish it in one sitting, or just in general? Because there's a big difference there. If I were to do one sitting, I'd have to dedicate an entire day to that. Do I watch the Rad Brad? I see some of his videos, yeah. Mainly if I like want to see what a game is like before I try it out myself, or finish in one sitting. Alright, we'll see about that. I highly doubt that's gonna happen, but because you have to realize, like, that would pretty much be like a 12 to 14 hour live stream. Because I wasn't planning on like skipping any of the cutscenes or anything like that. You always thought of me and Randolph Thor are the same dude. No, we are not. We are different people. Oh. I don't have to finish it in one sitting. I can finish it in 9 hours. Oh, and I'm getting so distracted. I'm just letting enemies walk by me.
Enemy friendly UAV overhead. Securing Echo. Allied cruise missile away.
I hate how long it takes to reload this. Do you still have your Xbox? Yeah, I still have my Xbox. I don't really use it that much, but I still have it. Ooh, yes. Oh my god, Hitmarker City over here. Come on. Is anybody else seeing this right now? Like, how many hit markers I'm getting? Ridiculous. See if I can run a tear here. This gun seems nice to shoot with. Yeah, it's like a fully modded M4. It does feel pretty good.
Allied cruise missile away. Need backup at Delta. You're needed at A. We've lost Alpha. Friendly UAV overhead.
Oh.
Securing Alpha.
Alright, maybe I can use my airstrike.
Friendly chopper gunner on Overwatch.
Oh, I placed it in the wrong spot. I don't like the way you have to place down airstrikes in this game. You're out, you're gonna jump on the beta yourself? Alright, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, it's the last day of the beta, so gotta get some playtime in. Because I'm still undecided if I'm gonna buy it. Frankly, I'm leaning... I'm like 50-50. I really am. Am I playing on the Pro? Yeah. Does the beta have burst fire? I'm assuming you're asking if it has like burst fire weapons. There are, I think, at least one. I know the FAMAS is burst fire in this, but you can actually switch to semi-auto, like this, or full auto. So that's pretty cool. Why don't I get a PC? I don't know. I mean, I do have a PC. I just don't use it for gaming. That's just not the way I want to game, honestly. I've just grown up playing console, you know, kind of like sitting on the recliner or the sofa in front of a big screen TV. It's just the way I enjoy playing games. I like the convenience that the console offers. Got him. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's another thing too. I'm not a big fan of going all digital. What's up, Rome Rush? Size of my TV that I'm playing on? I think it's a 55-inch TV. I don't need anything like ridiculous, like, you know, 65, 70 inches. That's crazy. It's like a whole wall. I mean, I've tried like gaming on monitors in the past, but it's just a different type of experience. It's not a bad one. It's just not my preferred experience. That's all.
Allied cruise missile away.
Do I think that the PS5 and PS5 Pro rumors are true? I think it's a 50-50 chance. Like, I could definitely see Sony looking into it, but it just seems like a little bit risky to me, because if they truly start the generation off that way, it will be nice to have options, but they're gonna have to really do a good job. And you know, they're working against two different ends here. They have to do a good job in separating the base model PS5 from the PS4 Pro, so that way people don't just look at the base model PS5 and say it just looks like a PS4 Pro Plus, you know what I mean? And they also have to do a good job in separating, if they do have a Pro model, separating that from the base model PS5 as well. So they have two different ends they're going to have to work at, and that seems like a somewhat difficult thing to achieve. So it's hard to say. I mean, I feel like Sony could be up to that challenge. I'm also thinking it might not matter to them, because we don't know exactly what Sony's mindset is going into next generation. We have an idea. We also know that they have a ton of momentum, you know, in their favor going into next generation. So there's a really good chance that they're just like, we don't really care if we are as successful as we were with the PS4. We just want to make it as easy as possible for people to upgrade, and one of the ways they do that is offering options. So I don't know. I wouldn't care either way. If they did do a Pro model, that's obviously the model I would go for. But if they do just one single model of the PS5, I hope it is basically equivalent to whatever the Pro model would be that they would be considering. You also have to think about developers and how they would develop for these different models, right? If that would get in the way. Let's see. Am I planning on playing The Last Guardian? Not anytime soon, honestly. There's just too much. There's like right now, if you notice, that's why I've like had a little bit of a slowdown in playing different PS4 games that people have been recommending to me, because there's just other games right now. We're in that time of the year where there's things coming out left and right, and there's more to come. And the beginning of 2020 looks absolutely insane. So, oh, I thought I had a flashbang. Ah. Game am I planning on playing next week? Well, it's like I said a little bit earlier. If we do get the release date for The Last of Us Part 2 this week, then next Sunday I'm considering... That's an enemy. I am considering streaming a playthrough of The Last of Us 1. I definitely don't think I would do it in one sitting, but I think that would be a cool way to celebrate getting the, you know, finally getting the release date for Part 2. Do I think that the consoles are going to be huge again? closer to the Xbox One X size. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I'm assuming that based off of how powerful they're going to be, they're going to need some serious cooling. So whatever the design is going to be, it's going to have to be based around making sure the console stays cool and doesn't risk overheating. But it's also going to have to be appealing. So I think they will be pretty big. Just I don't think they're going to be as big as like the base model Xbox One. That's kind of insane. I wouldn't care though. It doesn't really matter to me what they look like as long as it doesn't look completely terrible. But they're definitely going to have to worry about cooling.
Objective failed.
Am I going to live stream my reaction to the State of Play? No, I'm not going to do a live stream, but instead I'm going to do a video right after, probably. Spider-Man, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. If both Microsoft and Sony do multiple consoles, what do you think the difference in sales will be from fans buying the base console from the Pro and Scarlet? Well, I think you could honestly expect if both companies, or even if just one, but if both of them decided to do a multiple SKU option, having a base model and a Pro model, there's no doubt that the base model would go on to sell more, simply just due to the fact that it will be the cheaper model. Therefore, there is just a larger audience that will say, oh, it's cheaper, so if I'm going to upgrade, I'm going to upgrade to the cheaper one. But I do think that there is a big enough audience of like hardcore gamers who will support the Pro. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, all Sony and Microsoft need to do is look at the numbers of how many people bought the PS4 Pro, how many people bought the Xbox One X, and they just basically say, is there enough people who bought these consoles to justify making a Pro version and potentially releasing a Pro version or a souped up version at launch? And I think that those numbers are significant. I think we have the statistic from Sony anyway that 1 in every 5 people who buy a PlayStation 4 console buy the Pro. So if you think about that, if they were to have that same statistic carry over to the PlayStation 5, that would be a huge success for them. I mean, it would be lower volume, but still, you have to imagine if they're offering a Pro model of the PS5, it's going to be pretty expensive. And because of that, they're naturally going to make more money off of that, you know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on that question. I think the difference would probably be similar to what we see now. For Sony, for example, it'd probably be every 1 in 5 people probably would buy the Pro version. Potentially more, though, because we do have to remember that the Pro launched 3 years, I believe, into the PS4's life cycle. So, with that knowledge, if they do it at launch, there may be more people who are inclined to say, well, I'm getting in at launch, may as well go all the way, may as well go big, you know what I mean? So maybe it could be every 2 in 5 people. Will I be buying a Pro version at launch? If they do, yeah, I will buy the Pro version. What did I think of Xbox One's entire lineup of first-party games this gen? If I'm being completely and brutally honest, very, very weak. I think that it has been one of the worst generations. I was considering making a video today, and the only reason I'm not is frankly because I'm going to be watching a lot of football, and I'm not going to have time, but I might still make this video tomorrow, and I can just kind of go on a little bit of a rant here about it, where a lot of people were pointing out to me, like, MBG, did you see the videos that Jim Sterling and Video Game Donkey, is that his name? I think that's who he is. These big, prominent, YouTubers with millions of subscribers and millions of viewers who made basically hit pieces on Xbox just randomly for like no reason, which was surprising. Jim Sterling's video was particularly long, and he was very detailed about it. He went in depth into specifically the microtransactions, and earlier this generation where Microsoft was just all on board with like, hey, we want microtransactions in our games, and we want to make sure our games are subpar as well. And Video Game Donkey, his video was incredible because I didn't think it was possible to just destroy something so quickly and so precisely in such a short period of time. Like, he just wrecked Xbox and its fans. And like, I don't know, for me personally, as somebody who's been like saying a lot of this for a while now, it does feel like validation. Not that I need that, or not that my audience hasn't validated what I've said, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, okay, so clearly it's not just me and a small group of people who feel this way. Because if you listen to the Xbox, you know, the hardcore Xbox fans who really go on the defense when it comes to, you know, defending Xbox and whatnot, and trying to convince people that it's not as bad as everybody makes it seem, that's what they try to make it seem like, right? They try to make it seem like, oh, it's just a small group of haters who feel this way. Clearly not. There are a lot. If you look at the like to dislike ratios of those videos and the comments that people left on those videos, yeah, I think it's safe to say that the majority of people who care about video games and the industry will come together and say that Xbox is... They screwed up this generation, and things are not looking that much better going into next generation. You know what I mean? That's the gist I got. But yeah, those videos were absolutely amazing, and I was just applauding them, because it's like, this is great, man. Like, it's not great because I want to see people like trash Xbox and like, oh, I hope Xbox dies and goes away, you know, and goes out of business or whatever. Like, no, it has nothing to do with that. Maybe, you know, there's a chance that Phil Spencer and people who work at the Xbox division can stop, you know, kind of I'm trying real hard not to get vulgar here, but they can stop patting each other on the back left and right, making it seem like everything they do is amazing and right, and any criticism they get doesn't matter because they know they're walking the right path in gaming, right? If they could just stop doing that for a second and pay attention to these, you know, not just to me, right, but like to these bigger name people who are out here like destroying them and saying, look, like, this shit sucks. Like, it sucks, right? Like, if they could just pay attention to that and take the criticism and realize that you need to change the way you're doing things, then maybe we'd get somewhere. And that's all I hope for. But the reason why I get so frustrated, honestly, is because it seems like they're not doing that. Honestly. I mean, if you look at everything that these guys pointed out in their videos, as well as many of the videos I make, they're just not doing that. It's the exact reason why I couldn't praise Gears 5. I just couldn't. You know, truthfully, I have no interest in Gears. I never have, and I know I never will. It's not a franchise for me. I don't think it's worth it. It's a bad franchise, but it's the reason why I just couldn't get behind all these Xbox fans who were like, Gears 5 is amazing, oh my god, like, this is the greatest game this generation. Like, you're gonna tell me Gears 5 is the best Microsoft could do this entire generation? Like, are you kidding me? Like, it should be more than just Gears 5. And that's just, in my opinion, the harsh reality of it. See, you got me going. You guys got me going on a rant here. I'm, like, not even paying attention to what I'm playing, but those videos were amazing, though. And anybody who hasn't seen them, go check them out. Jim Sterling and Video Game Donkey. What's strange to me too is just how, oh wow, there's a guy right there. What's strange to me too is just how close they were to one another. You know what I mean? Like, in rapid succession. First Jim Sterling, then out of nowhere Video Game Donkey. It's almost like, is this becoming a trend where everybody's gonna start, you know, giving it to Xbox and letting them know, like, hey, you suck. And you know what the worst part is? I gotta continue on this, you know, soapbox here. The worst part is I've seen some people, some Xbox fans actually trying to like come out here and be like, oh guys, don't let them bother you, just enjoy gaming, you know, just keep drinking the Kool-Aid, it's fine. Like, listen, everybody's free to enjoy what they want. If there's somebody who genuinely in their heart loves Xbox and loves the direction Xbox is going in, and they believe in that and they think it's right and it's for them, then that's fine. Like, that's fine. But at least read the room, man. At least acknowledge that most gamers don't want that, right? It's like somebody who's trying to defend like a mobile game that most people look at and say this is mobile trash, and most people would agree this is mobile trash, but the person who loves that game is trying to convince everybody like, no, it's not trash, everybody should love it. Like, listen, nobody's saying you can't love a trash game, okay? You want to love a trash game, love a trash game, but just be sure you acknowledge it's a trash game while loving it, okay? It's just like that saying goes, like, you know, you can polish a turd all you want, but it's still a turd, right? And end rant. I'm going to end the rant there. I'm going on long enough here. This is supposed to be a live chat. Instead, it's basically turning into a live rant. And I'm also probably doing a terrible job at helping my team capture these points.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Oh, that was my teammate in front of me. I mean, the truth is, I don't want to be too hard on things unnecessarily, you know what I mean? Like, if there's people who enjoy mobile games and that's how they game, like, whatever, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna judge somebody or make somebody seem less than me because of that. Like, I'm not about being on a pedestal or a high horse like that, but I just feel that it just comes down to, you have to be honest with what you like and what you want, and just base everything else around that. And I think a lot of the times for me, it's clear that mobile gaming is not my thing. That's not what I want when it comes to games. Doesn't mean I'm gonna protest them or anything, but you know, when you look at a lot of the things that mobile games employ, and free-to-play games as well, not all free-to-play games, but a lot of them, it just seems like Microsoft is kind of like inching their way into that territory. Oh god, okay, I just got messed up. What games are you looking forward to on the PS5? I'm looking forward to all of the games. All of the games on PlayStation 5. It's overwhelming to even think about the amount of games that the PlayStation 5 is going to offer, so that's why I can't give you like 1 or 2 games. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to what Sony Studios are going to do for the PlayStation 5, as well as third-party games as well. I want to know what a lot of the third parties are going to do with the next-gen hardware as well. Will I get the next Xbox? No. I'm not going to be getting Project Scarlet. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to be buying both at launch. I already made the mistake of investing in the Xbox One X, so I don't plan on upgrading to any Xbox anytime soon. I'm hoping that the majority of the games that release on Xbox, if there's any of them I end up being interested in, I'll be able to play them on my Xbox One X. If I'm going to get that next-gen experience, it's going to be through Sony this time around. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I heard they were making a new Order 1886 game. Yeah, there was like some conversation about that. I actually was thinking about making a video on that topic, because the studio that made the Order 1886 Ready at Dawn, not too long ago, they kind of posted how they upgraded their studio to like a state-of-the-art studio, which is like, and everybody's kind of like wondering like, where are they getting this money to do this? Like, this is kind of crazy, because they're a studio that haven't really done much recently, you know what I mean? And so you have to wonder, like, they're upgrading to a state-of-the-art studio, where are they getting the money for this? And I believe I saw it was Colin Moriarty on his Twitter. He was asking that question, and he was kind of, you know, slightly alluding to the idea that, or entertaining the possibility, is this Sony's doing? Is this Sony maybe working with them again? Maybe they did greenlight a sequel to the Order 1887 and they're giving them more money. They're giving them a new studio. Maybe they're considering, you know, doing that. I would love for that to happen, because the Order 1886, it had some major flaws, no doubt about it, but the potential that was there, oh my god, insane. This is the thing about, you know, these big publishers like Sony and Microsoft, and something I would love for Microsoft to do is like take more risks, you know what I mean? Like, let developers, you know, achieve their full potential. Don't just move on from one thing to the other. I'm not saying Sony has done this, because they haven't. They've actually done the literal opposite of that this generation. It's just that specifically with Sony, the Order 1886 is one game in particular that I think they should give a second chance. Microsoft has been absolutely terrible with that this generation, though. Like, honestly, they've done a terrible job, you know, like with games like Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, Rise. Those are just a few, right? Where because these games are not big, massive hits at first, they just move on to the next thing. I don't think they should do that. I think they should actually give something else more of a chance. What if they do Crackdown 4? Well, that's the thing. I mean, Crackdown 3 is the third game in the series where it seems like it got so far off from what made the first game so great, you know, or just improvements that needed to be made just weren't made. I mean, I've literally seen some comparison videos where, what was it, that one guy, Crow B Cat or something like that, on YouTube, where he did comparison video between, and he did this for Gears as well, a comparison video between Crackdown 1 and 3 and how pretty much Crackdown 1 comes out on top, and that's just sad. It shouldn't be that way. He also did it for Gears, where he was pointing out that, like, Gears 5 lacks the same intensity and weight that Gears 2 did, Gears of War 2. You think we'll see a Days Gone 2? I think so as well. There's no way we don't see a sequel to Days Gone. That's another game that it wasn't perfect, but there's something there. I'm telling you, there's something there between the storytelling and what they're doing with those hordes and the horde gameplay in Days Gone 2 that they have yet to realize not only their full potential as a studio, but what they can do with their games. And that is, to me, very exciting. See, to me, that's what's so damn exciting about what PlayStation is doing going into next generation, where you don't even need to read into it that much to just get the feeling that they're really starting to learn what it means to give creators freedom and money and letting talent do what it does best, and not, you know, kind of, you know, trying to meddle with it. And that's like where the true greatness comes from. And when it comes to Microsoft, they're buying these studios and everything, but I'm still not convinced that they're going to allow their studios to do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm just not getting that feeling. Oh, what's even worse is, like, they may have even convinced their studios, like, oh yeah, you're free to do whatever you want, but, like, the Coalition, I think they kind of made it sound like, you know, Rod Ferguson made it seem like they had the option to do whatever they want, and they chose to do Gears 5, and, like, I have no problem with that, but, like, come on, you guys, if you're given that option to finally do something completely new and fresh and different from what you've ever done before, take that opportunity, take that chance. I remember, I think there was, like, an article where Rod Ferguson was asked about Gears 5 and a new IP, and if we can ever, okay, I can't go through here, if we can ever expect a new IP from them, and he said, I believe, never say never, or something like that. And, like, that's good, like, that gives me a little bit of hope, but who knows when that's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should have been now. That's the biggest argument I have against Gears 5, is, like, there's nothing wrong with Gears 5 as a video game. I'm not going to sit here and say that Gears 5 should have never been made or anything like that, but at this point in time, Gears 5 is the literal last thing that Microsoft needs for its platform right now. It needs something to kickstart it, to jumpstart it. It needs, like, that adrenaline shot. And Gears 5 is not it. Sorry, I don't mean to sit here and keep going on my little Xbox rants. I, you know, don't want to upset anybody too much now. Apparently I'm really good at doing that. Oh, he saw me. I thought he didn't see me. Microsoft... Oh, yeah. Guys, that's another thing I was thinking about making a video on, but there's just been so much news, so much great, you know, positive news and rumors and leaks regarding The Last of Us Part 2. I never got around to it, where apparently Microsoft changed their metrics of success once again when it comes to their gaming division, where now they're not reporting any numbers. Like, they are literally just focusing on, I think, subscription, like Game Pass subscriptions or cloud or whatever. Like, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know exactly, but I do know that they're going to be revealing even less numbers now than they were before. I think they removed the growth of Xbox Live subscribers. Like, they're not even showing that anymore or something like that, like the month over month or quarter over quarter growth. And it's just, once again, it's like why are you guys doing this? Like, you're just proving people right in their suspicions that you are truly just trying to move onto being a service-based only, cloud only, digital only type of gaming company. And like, there's some people who are okay with that, but like, I don't want that, you know what I mean? Like, that's the opposite of what I want. I want a healthy balance is what I want, and there's no healthy balance. You know, the biggest argument that a lot of Xbox people throw up in my face is they're like, well, what about Sony? What about PlayStation Now? You know, what about their partnership with Microsoft and cloud? And I try to explain that, like, listen, I'm not like inherently so against the idea of cloud gaming or digital only gaming or whatever, or services that I don't think they should exist at all. That's just stupid. Like, we all know that they're going to exist. It's something that all of these gaming companies are going to pursue. But in my opinion, there needs to be a healthy balance. And I'm not nervous when it comes to Sony pursuing these things, because they start from the ground up. They've laid out a solid concrete foundation of, we have our PlayStation 5 consoles that we support, and we support heavily. We ensure that the hardcore PlayStation fans come first and they're taken care of. The big AAA games come first. You know, all these things are taken care of, and then they start moving on to other things, such as, okay, now let's start looking into cloud gaming. Now let's start looking into different avenues of revenue, now that we have our foundation laid out. Their foundation was cracked from the start, and they did a half-assed job of trying to repair it, when in reality they needed to overhaul it and just start from nothing again. And they did a half-assed job repairing it, and they've just gotten to a point where, like, you know what, we don't really care about the foundation, we don't care about the hardcore gamer that much anymore. You know, we're going to give them the Xbox One X and make it seem like we're all for the hardcore gamer, because the hardcore gamer wants that, power factor. And then they're just moving on from that. And they're you can clearly see that they're going in the direction of, hey, we just care about software and services more than anything else. And in my opinion, that's a negative, because Sony naturally is going to be paying attention to what they're doing. If Microsoft does find tremendous success, which I hope they don't, going down this avenue, then there's no denying that companies and shareholders are going to be paying attention to this. You know, Sony shareholders, somebody told me this, and it got me thinking, where they were like, maybe Sony is really kind of talking about PlayStation Now so much, and talking about how they're going to pursue cloud gaming more going into next generation. Maybe they're doing this because they feel pressured to do so by their shareholders, because their shareholders are probably looking at all these other companies, these bigger companies like Microsoft, seeing what they're doing, and pushing them, basically influencing the industry as a whole, where it's like, if you're Sony executives, and like, your job is to make sure you keep the shareholders happy, if they're sitting there putting pressure on you, and you have to sit there and explain to essentially your boss, like, this is why we're not going to invest in cloud gaming at all, okay, this guy's got to go. I'm not sure what you're doing in the chat. I don't have any moderators right now, so this guy's got to go. Sorry about that. See what happens when I go on these rants and I don't have any moderators?
Enemy UAV overhead.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm passionate about gaming. It's something I've done like all my life pretty much, and I just care about it. And I'm not saying that there can't be new experiences or options or anything like that. Of course there can be, but I just want to see certain experiences preserved, if that makes sense. And I just think that Sony and Nintendo are doing a fantastic job of, finding that healthy balance between preserving the way things have been and the way things are, but also looking into avenues of how can we expand upon this without doing so at the cost of destroying the way things have been. You know what I mean? That's all I really care about. Anyway, let me look at the chat here a little bit. What do you think about E3 2020? I don't know. I mean, I made a video on it, and it sounds like, I don't know. It could go either way. I'm not really digging the whole idea of they're basically trying to superficially become more appealing through... Okay, I don't even know what's happening. There's a cluster out here. They're trying to find a way to superficially appeal to a wider audience through celebrities and internet influencers and stuff. And like, maybe it'll work. I mean, I don't want to see E3, there's no denying, has like lost its it factor. You know what I mean? It's just not what it used to be. And it's gonna have to, it's going up against the grain here. So I don't know. I'll tell you this. You can lock this down. If we find out Sony doesn't show up at E3 next year, then E3 is done. At that point, it's safe to say that it's over. You know, it doesn't matter if Microsoft shows up, but if Sony doesn't show up at E3, I would be absolutely shocked. I don't think anybody's expecting Sony to forego E3 2020 for obvious reasons. They're trying to take the hardcore gaming audience out of the picture. Yeah, like that's the thing right there. Is like what you're saying, like all of these hardcore Xbox fans who constantly back up almost every decision. I think I got kicked. Every decision that Microsoft makes when it comes to Xbox, do they not realize that they're starting to sound more and more like a normal, casual gamer? Because in order to continue to support Xbox in every move that they're making, that's pretty much what you have to become. You have to be okay with it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the position that Microsoft is putting Xbox fans in, and I started to realize that, like with games like Crackdown 3 and many other things that they were doing, I started to realize, like, this isn't what I want from gaming. You know what I mean? Like, the last time I had a good time playing a game on my Xbox was State of Decay 2, and even then, it was incredibly underwhelming. That was a game I was insanely excited for because I loved the first game. And you know what I loved about the first game the most? The amount of potential that was there for something truly great, something bigger and much better. You know, there's something awesome about the State of Decay world, right? And the sequel was more of the same. It was better in some ways, and I did enjoy my time with it. I thought it was a better game than most people, but I still acknowledge that, like, it's still pretty much more of the same. We need to see some bigger improvements made, you know, some bigger leaps forward made in the State of Decay series. And I'm not going to lie, now that Undead Labs is a first-party studio under Microsoft, I do have a little bit more hope that, okay, maybe this means they can take the time necessary and be given the budget to be able to actually do something truly great with this series. But at the same time, if they don't, and State of Decay 3 is just more of the same, well, I'll still play it because I like, you know, the foundation of what State of Decay is, but I will be disappointed for sure in that fact. So, yeah. Alright, let's see here. Maybe I'll try sniping this game. Xbox fanboys are killing their own console by not giving any criticisms. Yeah, I agree with that. I made a whole video on that where it's like, see, it really surprised me that they're making another Xbox. Like, why? For who? Nobody gives a damn about your no exclusives, cheaper PC system. It's a little harsh, but there are a lot of people who do see it that way. I mean, I'm glad that Microsoft is at least committed enough to make another console and put a lot of resources and time into Project Scarlet, but the thing that just blows my mind is, like, you're doing this, but you're clearly just doing it to keep a specific audience, you know, from losing their minds. Basically, it's like they're just doing what they need to do to not get insane pushback. Because could you imagine if they just said they're not making an next-gen console? Dude, the amount of... it would blow up the end. Like, people would just lose it. They would just lose it, you know? And they would lose all of their supporters that they have left at that point. So they can't do that, but, you know, the only reason they're... I'm just saying, I don't think the reason they're making another Xbox console is because they believe they're going to sell better this time around, is because they're going to get more out there. I think it's mainly because they feel like they kind of have to, right? I'm just gonna say I appreciate the donation. I am never going to say your name because that's not a name. That's just a terrible, terrible thing to say. But thank you for the donation. Oh my god. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, people are trolls. Yeah, they are. It's to be expected, you know. I like to think it's all in the name of mostly fun, but sometimes people take trolling to another level. Jeez. Wow. Okay, I missed that guy. Got like an 8-time zoom here and I still missed the dude. Tiller's just a puppet. It's the way Microsoft business with all of their products. You know, dude, like, you're not wrong in the idea that he is a puppet. I mean, here's the thing. Phil Spencer seems like a nice guy, right? Like, he seems like a really nice guy, a genuine person, but he is just doing his job, and his job is to basically conform the Xbox division into what the CEO of Microsoft thinks it needs to be, you know. And the current CEO of Microsoft, you know, he has done a fantastic job, Satya Nadella, in bringing Microsoft up as a company to like $1 trillion company. Like, there's no doubt about he's doing his job, right? But he's doing it with the cloud, with services and subscriptions. And so I do understand that it doesn't make that much sense for Xbox as a division under Microsoft to go against that, but at the same time, it's not a matter of them going against it as much as it is you're going against pretty much the entire industry, right? Like, you look at the success that PlayStation finds, you look at the success that Nintendo finds, and I'm sure that the Xbox division would love to find that success, but now they're trying to chase that success in a completely different way, where it's like, we're going to go for more of the casual market, more of the market that wants to access their games for as cheap as possible, quantity over quality, and like, maybe not in all cases, but that's what I'm getting from it. Probably keep this stream going for a little while here. I'm not gonna keep this stream too long, only because when I'm doing just like live chats and I'm not actually playing through a game, I don't want them to be too long for anybody who wants to, you know, who can't catch the stream live and wants to watch it later. Maybe like a little bit of a podcast. That's another thing. A lot of people have been telling me they want me to do a podcast, and I've had ideas. The thing is, I just want it to be a good podcast. I don't want it to be just something where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like sit here and rant like I am now, even though that's probably what it would end up turning into. But I just, you know, I want it to be something that I can commit to, is all I'm trying to say. If I were to do a podcast at some point, I want it, okay, I don't even know where I'm being shot through the ceiling. Clearly, okay, that's cool. If I do a podcast though, I want it to be something that I can commit to and that I can make sure I am able to get out on like a weekly basis, and I want it to be a quality podcast. I have a couple ideas of what I want it to be called, and it would be, see, the thing about my podcast, if I were to do one, it would just be me and one other person, and I'm pretty sure it would be somebody from the outside, nobody that's known on YouTube or anything like that. Just because, like, in order for me, in my opinion, to do a proper podcast, I need to be comfortable in who I'm talking to. If I'm not, it's just going to be a weird, like, this isn't really working type thing. You know what I mean? And if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to be very particular about it. But I want it to be somewhat of a structured podcast where, like, I don't want it to be, like, 3 or 4 hours long, obviously. And I just want it to be somewhat consistent. But I will say this, if I am going to do a podcast, it will not be this year. It will be sometime in 2020. Probably early 2020. That's kind of when I was thinking about maybe starting it. We'll see, though. BG, how do you feel about PSVR and its future? I'm considering getting one, but it would mean getting a PS5 a few months after it comes out. If I'm being honest, like, just for, like, I can't tell somebody that they shouldn't get PSVR because a lot of people who played it will tell you certainly should. But for me personally, I'm willing to wait until the next version, even if it's like 2 or 3 years away, because I'm just, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm really just mainly looking forward to the PlayStation 5 more than anything. And if I were in your shoes, if it was between a PSVR now and a PS5 later, because of that, I would forego the PSVR and say I'd rather have the PS5 day one. That's just me. Say no to podcasts. Podcasts are boring. Well, here's the thing. If I were to do a podcast, it wouldn't interfere with any of my normal content. It would literally just be something that's you know, for anybody who likes podcasts. But see, that's another thing as well too, is that, like, I don't want to be like super redundant either, you know what I mean? Basically what the podcast could serve as is a way for people to who maybe missed a bunch of videos or a bunch of news that happened that week, an easy way for them to get that and get my opinions on it. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just a thought. Maybe something for the future. I mean, if I were to try it and it fails, then it fails. Then I'll just walk away from it, right? Not a big deal. But oh, okay. All right, I gotta. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Alright, I think I gotta focus up here a little bit.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Wait, is that a... Oh, I have a claymore. Okay, I thought I had a grenade. What are my thoughts on the upcoming State of Play? I think it's gonna... Honestly, I think it's gonna be really good. I think that, I think this is gonna be Sony's way of letting us know that State of Play is going to be bigger than we thought before. Like, you know, I think they took the feedback that when they announced the last 2 State of Plays, regardless of our feelings on it, I mean, everybody has their own opinion, but the majority of the feedback was this wasn't big enough. Like, we want these to be bigger. We want bigger announcements. That's what most people were saying. And I think Sony took that criticism and they were like, you know what? All right, we're going to make sure now that when we have State of Plays, we're going to have some bigger announcements. And I think, you know, them, if you read their blog post, they revealed that they changed the format this time around for what their State of Play is going. Like, it's just going to be a completely different format. And I think part of that is, like, it's going to be 20 minutes filled with some bigger announcements. Not every announcement or not every little thing they talk about, but definitely bigger. So I'm expecting it to be very exciting.
Need backup at Alpha.
All right.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Oh my god, like, why? See if I can snipe some people. I'm terrible at sniping, though. I'm probably gonna get sniped just standing here.
Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover. Enemy precision airstrike. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly IAV dropping in.
Where is everybody, man? Like, What, dude? See, that's what I'm talking about with this game. Did you see how many hit markers I just put on that guy? You're gonna tell me he's not dead?
Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy UAV
Ridiculous, man. I'm starting to rage now.
Allied cruise missile away.
Oh god, this is...
Enemy UAV overhead.
You know, see, this is why I'm, like, considering passing on Call of Duty this year, because, like, I'm not into the basic game modes anymore, like TDM or Domination or anything, and I was hoping that, like, the 64-player game mode would completely turn me around, but it's 50-50 here, man. Like, sometimes it's fun, and you can occasionally go on a little tear. Maybe I'm just terrible at the game, but I just feel like I'm like a piece of tissue paper out here. Like, sometimes it feels like for me it takes like 6 hit markers, right, to get a kill on somebody. And other people it takes like, I don't know, way more than that.
Got a UAV on station. Ready for flyover. Bravo secure. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead. Precision airstrike available. On the roll.
Oh my, oh god, like I'm just trying to use my airstrike here, and I get shot in the back. Well, I was standing in a doorway, so I just have to blame myself on that one. I don't even know where I am right now.
Enemy UAV overhead.
And I'm dead. Okay.
Allied cruise missile away. Reloading. Friendly UAV overhead.
Whoa. Is this even... I didn't pick that spawn point, did I? It spawned against the wall.
Assist your team at Charlie. Enemy VTOL in the AO.
See, like, this is what I mean in this game, man. Like, you're just dead. Like, you just die randomly. It's insanely annoying.
Friendly UAV overhead.
I mean, it's nice that you can just instantly respawn, but man, people sniping on like the outskirts, making me feel like I gotta stay indoors at all times.
UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the
I don't know, man. Like, I'm really considering skipping out on Call of Duty this year.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Maybe it's because it's probably my fault. Like, if you look at the way I play, I just keep running from, like, I don't know, I can't help it. I'm not trying to do parkour all over the map here just to survive. And I also, my play style is the opposite of camping. I just cannot camp in Call of Duty or any game, really. Like, the only game I can really be okay in camping with is PUBG when I play it. But I think that's understandable, because there's just sometimes where you have to be successful.
Friendly UAV overhead. Friendly IAV dropping in. Friendly UAV overhead.
Oh, okay. Wasn't actually expecting to kill somebody with that grenade. But,
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
well, the hack. What?
Enemy precision airstrike.
You see, I can sit here and do that and not get killed, but... Oh my god. Let's see if I can get my airstrike out here real quick before the game ends. Nope, not gonna be able to. I'm almost dead.
Assist your team at Alpha. Enemy personal radar in the air.
Alright, that'll be the last game I play. I will interact with the chat for like just a couple minutes here before I end the stream. So I gotta get ready for some football. The weapons have too much kick. I mean, yeah, like that's the thing is like this Call of Duty's always been like an arcade shooter, and I don't want them to have zero recoil, but them going for like more realism, I thought at first that was like going to be a great thing, but I don't know. I mean, it is different, and I'll give them that. Man, look at that. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Terrible performance on my part. Packers or Broncos? I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Eagles. Leave the lobby. Fingers crossed that SOCOM is confirmed being made for PS5. I mean, I think it would be ideal for SOCOM to make a comeback during next generation. We know that Sony wants some more multiplayer games, and people love the SOCOM name, right? Like, there's a lot of people who have great memories with that, so... Enjoy football made me feel bad. You not wanting to accept my apology. I didn't know you gave me an apology or whatever you're apologizing for. I mean, I accept it. No big deal, man. No problem. There's no animosity here on my end. Scarlet is a make or break for Xbox. I agree. What do you think they will reveal The Last of Us? Well, the release date for The Last of Us 2 is probably gonna happen this Tuesday, and I'm predicting February 20th, 2020. That's the date I'm predicting that it's gonna release. Will you live stream your State of Play reaction? No, I'm not gonna live stream it. I am just gonna make a video probably right after it ends, going over it, my thoughts. I just like to enjoy when I watch those things. I just like to enjoy them, including like, you know, any events. I just like to enjoy them on my own, really. I look forward to it. And I like to have a little bit of time to process. I know people love like the live reactions, but I just like to process like what's going on and, you know, see how it leaves me feeling. Wonder if the Eagles can protect the QB this week. Yeah, they haven't been looking too great. I hope they can pull it together. I mean, Wentz, he's definitely, he needs more protection. He can't scramble like he used to for fear of getting injured again, you know? But have you seen the new only on PlayStation sleeves for the game cases there, man? I don't... Oh, if you're talking about the ones that use like the art scheme, the different art scheme between them, yeah, I think they look awesome. What NFL team do you follow? I'm an Eagles fan. I follow the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. One PS4 exclusive that came out this month is Catherine Full Body. If you like playing games that are entirely unique, I've seen that game. I don't think it's my cup of tea, but I've heard good things about it. Wish they would bring back Warhawk. I never got a chance. I don't... Did I play Warhawk? I feel like I played it like before a long time ago, a little bit of it. But you hear my PlayStation 4 fan running? Yeah, this game specifically, Call of Duty, man, it like sounds like a jet plane taking off. I mean, it doesn't bother me because I have my headset on, but when is the Minecraft chill stream? I don't actually play Minecraft. You think we'll see any new IP at the State of Play, even if it's their smaller games? You know, I've seen people bringing up, I mean, it's not a new IP, but I've seen people bringing up like the Demon Souls remaster, and I couldn't help but notice that VatiVidya, if I'm saying his name right, he's like a Dark Souls YouTuber that I've been following. Great content, man. Go check him out if you're a Soulsborne, Demon Souls fan, Sekiro fan, any of that. Follow him. He makes amazing content. And he did a video talking about why we need a Demon Souls remaster, and I was like, the timing of this is interesting. But, you know, you're gone, MBG ignores me. Do I? I don't know. You have to understand sometimes the chat goes by too quick. I can't answer everything, so apologies if I'm ignoring you. But I don't think I would love to see a new IP. Do I think we're going to see a new IP? maybe not. Maybe not. I think it's too soon, but we can always hope. I would lose my mind if we get a Demon Souls remaster announcement. That'd be great, but they might be saving that for closer to PlayStation 5. Well, actually, they could get away with announcing it now, and if it doesn't release till sometime next year, that actually could be a PS5 game, so who knows? His voice is soothing too. Yeah, dude, no joke, that guy, VatiVidya, he has one of the most calming voices I've ever heard. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. He has an amazing chill voice that's just okay. This is relaxing. My most anticipated game for the future, as of right now, it has to be The Last of Us Part 2. That's definitely my most. But alright guys, I think that's going to do it for the stream. I'm going to hop off, get ready for some football. I appreciate anybody who showed up, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know I wasn't able to interact and talk with everybody, but I do my best. And yeah, so that's going to do it for the stream. Be sure to leave it a like on your way out if you did enjoy it, and look forward to my upcoming content this week. Obviously, Tuesday's the big day. I may have a video going out tomorrow, and if I do, it's probably going to be talking about the recent, big YouTube content creators trashing Xbox, or, calling out Xbox, and we might go over that for a little bit. But yeah, and also as well, if you enjoy my streams, there's a really good chance that next Sunday, I don't want to promise it because things might change, but there's a good chance next Sunday I might be streaming The Last of Us 1. I was about to say Part 2, but that would be insane, right? But I might be streaming The Last of Us, so if you're interested in that, feel free to show up and show your support, and it'll be a good time. But alright guys, you guys take it easy as well. I will catch you later.